Hi, my name is Meg Edwards and I'm a GTD coach. And today I wanted to talk about the weekly review. As many of you know, the weekly review is one of the critical success factors in installing and implementing and integrating the Getting Things Done methodology. But I think people have almost like more misconceptions about the weekly review than they actually do about the weekly review. You know, one of the things that can happen is I'll do these inquiry calls with people who are exploring GTD coaching. And a lot of them are GTDers. They've been doing this a really, really long time. And inevitably, somewhere in the conversation, they will bring up their weekly review. And it's always like the same scenario that they beat up on themselves about not doing the weekly review or not doing it in the way that David talks about it in the book or whatever that may be. And I'm always saying, first of all, you got to get off your back about the weekly review. You're already doing some semblance of these reviews. And I highly, highly recommend that people customize the weekly review and make it your own. David's just giving you an outline and a suggestion in Chapter 8 of the Getting Things Done book 2015 edition, which he names the reflecting phase, keeping it all fresh and functional. So what do we need to do to keep our GTD systems fresh and functional? I just want to read you this little paragraph on page 195 in Chapter 8, which he says, what is the weekly review? Very simply, the weekly review is whatever you need to do to get your head empty again and get oriented for the next couple of weeks. It's going through the steps of workflow management, capturing, clarifying, organizing, and reviewing all your outstanding commitments, intentions, and inclinations until you can honestly say, I absolutely know right now everything I'm not doing, but could be doing if I decided to. Period. That's my gem of the week, is to customize that weekly review. What do you need to do to stay clear and current so that you can stay in that creative place? Are you not feeling very creative right now? Well, what part of the weekly review might help you? Do you need to spend some time getting clear, which is getting all of your ins clarified and organized? Do you need to maybe do a mind sweep? Get stuff that maybe crept back up into your mind and get that clarified and organized. Do you maybe need to clean up your calendar or your actions list or agendas or waiting fors or projects? Ensure that there's a next action that will help you keep the system clean and current. What I would love to have is a discussion here about what you're bumping up against that's preventing you from keeping it fresh and functional. So what is preventing you from keeping it fresh and functional? One of the things that happens to me is, I get knocked off fairly frequently. Life's coming at you fast and furious sometimes, great opportunities, challenging opportunities. And I know that one of the biggest gifts that I can give myself is that reflecting time. In the early years, when I did the weekly review, I used to go to a cafe because I just had too many distractions in my home office, and I allowed those distractions in, frankly. And I would go to a cafe, the same cafe, different times of the week, and that really helped a lot. I have a tendency to chip away at my weekly review. I get fatigued when I do my weekly review, so I chip away at it. And that may or may not work for you. Doesn't have to be done on a Friday afternoon in one sitting. I highly recommend that you write out the steps that work for you. Will include the weekly review template that I would recommend that you customize for yourself. You can go on our YouTube channel and you can see me walking people through a very thorough weekly review. That's been up for a really long time, but it's still relevant. And what is either getting in your way or preventing you from giving you that incredible gift of reflection time to get clean and current? I also have had clients that will pretend that they're having a call with me and they'll put weekly review with Meg. And so they'll carve out that time. And then I say, okay, so what would constitute a disruption if you were on the phone with me doing a weekly review? In 27 years of doing weekly reviews with clients, I can only recall 2 times where somebody hopped off a call with me because something more important showed up that they had to. Most of the time, they're just pushing the world back during that call. And I always say to them, well, how can you replicate that moving forward and give yourself that gift? So that's my gem of the day. And again, would love to hear in your comments so that I can respond any questions, any reflections that you have about your GTD practice. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you. For more GTD resources, please visit gettingthingsdone.com and David Allen's YouTube channel. For more information on GTD coaching, please email us at info@gtdfocus.com or visit our website at gtdfocus.com.